Yes, man. This gentleman is a legend from SoCal, legend of the highest order, parlayed a successful hoops career into even a more successful career in the entertainment game. You might remember the True Hoop Squad, ESPN, Black Opinion Matters, and all those good things back in the day. Co-founder of Count the Dings, now doing pods and things for The Athletic. One of the co-creators of NBA Bubble Life. A little bit of everything over now in New York with White and Kenny. I see you with the NY hat now really representing. But let's give it up for none other. The man formerly known as Black Trey, but we know him as Travonne Edwards. What's up, Trey?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
I wasn't ready for that intro, man.
That's how we get you to come back.
Yeah.
That's how we get you to come back.
The next time it's like, Trey's here, and we just throw you on. That's it.
For sure.
But what's going on with you, bro?
Not much, man. Just working on different projects behind the scene, and then you also got to look at it in a certain scenario of like basketball covering the Nets. It's been an exciting beat. You got James Harden, you got DeAndre Jordan, you got Kevin Durant dealing with the coronavirus. Like it's fun, and also Nash being the nice Canadian head coach that says goodnight after every press conference. So great.
And what's that transition been like from you going from hooper to now covering hoops? And I know there's a lot of dudes, and we always joke about that, are in the hoop game, but really don't understand the hoop game. So for somebody like yourself to come in and be able to relate to these dudes, how has that been a different experience for you?
Man, it's been super helpful, obviously having that personal relationship, but also controlling the narrative and kind of being the voice to help them sometimes when certain stories get twisted, or speaking for and a player perspective to be able to help them. Okay,
for sure. Well, you mentioned you covered the Nets. Obviously, KD made his triumphant return to the dynasty he really put on the map. Let's just be real. They weren't a dynasty before KD came through. 2 finals MVPs. These are just stats. I'm just speaking facts. 2 finals MVPs. I don't know anything else, but KD came through. They smacked Steph and them. What'd you think just watching that game?
It was a win that they needed, obviously dealing with the drama with KD being out. And then also, the Warriors with Draymond, they're looking good. The defense is getting better. Juan T, Steph, those guys are very young. Andrew Wiggins still playing defense. But when you bring in about the powerhouse, the top 4 in the league, then pretty much not going to win a game. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, James Harden, KD, and James, not too many teams are beating them on a hot day. You know what I'm saying? And then they're trying to prove a statement. You know what I mean? Overall.
Just they're loving that the KD made the dynasty comment. Trey, I got to ask you, do you worry with this Nets team defensively at all for like a deep playoff run? Is there some kind of concern? Like, you've seen it with D'Antoni teams in the past where like scoring is awesome until you get to the playoffs and like, you're not getting every whistle the right way and things like that. Is there some underlying worry maybe defensively they need to shore some stuff up?
No, not really. Outside of the Lakers are the only team that I think that's just like got a chance to really go back to back. Yeah. On the Eastern Conference, I don't think any Eastern Conference team could beat this team in a 7-game series.
Damn, probably true.
100%. We were just talking about that. Like the Sixers, like their storyline, and obviously Embiid may mess around and win the MVP, but nobody gives a fuck. Like nobody thinks it's like, the Sixers are coming.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant. I'm not even gonna lie. Like if LeBron doesn't win another one, who cares? Like it's about holding up the trophy in June, bro.
Most def. Well, the big story I got to quote, this is for both of you gentlemen. Obviously, SportsCenter came out today with a poll, said, Steph or KD to take the final shot. Funny enough, Iggy started trending as a result of that because people weren't really rolling with either one of them. Yeah. But it got the wheels churning here on Outta Pocket Live. So we have some other Steph or KD questions. But first, got to ask you the main one. Who do you want taking the last shot, Steph or KD?
I've seen Steph do it too much. So I'm going to go with Steph because Steph can expand that thing out to half court. I like my chances with that. With Durant, guaranteed layup on a mid-range. 3, kind of. But Steph, I'm rolling with. But if I had to go wild card, I'm going Damian Lillard.
Okay.
See, I'm going KD. We saw in the finals, he had that clutch ass 3 to basically really seal the series, put the nail in the coffin against LeBron. And he maybe doesn't have the same resume with some of those buzzer beaters as Steph, but I put him I mean, I'd rather the ball be in KD's hands than anyone else's.
See, Zach, I gotta agree with you on that, but it just really depends. Is this a finals game or is this a game that's not the finals? Like non-finals game, obviously Steph, but finals, I gotta go with KD just because we've seen it and it's been proven. But want to switch it up? Who would you want taking the first shot of the game?
First shot of the game, KD for me.
Okay.
Easy call.
KD.
Okay. See, I would go with Steph there just because he's generally wet earlier. But whose barber would you rather use? It's a real question. I mean, Steph's barber. I'm Steph's barber. I want to cut you up, or hey, I'm KD's barber. I want to cut you up. Whose barber are you rather messing with?
Actually, I know Steph's barber, so I'm gonna go with Steph's barber.
Okay.
Much love to KD though.
Zach,
I'm gonna go Steph's barber. I think that I've just seen the man's repertoire of cuts and the fades he's had. I'm like, I think there's things that I could do with this that'd go well at least.
So I've seen Steph and KD's hair at least this season. I'm gonna go with neither. I'll grow mine out. I'm gonna get some twisties, and that's just Zach, question for you, Trey. You can answer too if you feel the need, but we're in California. We partake. Zach, who would you rather buy weed from, Steph or KD?
Steph for sure.
I'm buying weed from KD, bro. Steph.
See, I feel like KD will pitch the bag. I feel like KD's pitching the bag. He's charging tourist prices. He's not really looking out. He's trying to really play me like a sucker. So Steph's the type of dude. He's the type of weed dude that will smoke with you. He'll hang out. He'll play video games with you off of his supply just to really bring you back.
He's definitely third good off half baked for sure.
Well, I think we know KD smokes. He kind of confessed that he may have been a little bit under the influence when he sent off those burner tweets. I do now worry thinking about this, like maybe Steph's weed is a little bit mid, not good, so whereas KD knows what he's talking about.
No, we're not buying weed from KD. We got some comments coming in. Star Wars NBA 1 said Steph will have no idea how to hook someone up. But that's the whole problem. He can really get him when he turns his back. He's not a good dope dealer, so he can really just be in the bag.
Guy to give you an eighth instead of the stuff that you
KD might try to slip you some Reggie and just call, you know what I mean? Like,
see, I'm worried that Steph would accidentally sell me a dime bag of oregano. Just a little.
Most def. All right, let's keep this thing pushing and churning. So, Zach, this may be a little bit before your time, but I know you're very heavily invested in the Black community, so you're rolling. But 25th anniversary of Tupac, All Eyes on Me, and Fuji's The Score. I was 13 years old when these things came out. Trey, what do you remember about these two tracks? Did they mean anything for you when these albums came back? Like, when you think about this being the 25th anniversary, how does that make you feel?
Man, I love Tupac. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to sound like into Live and Die in LA intro, but in that 1996 I was 11, and just being able to have Tupac just overall ambitions as a writer. Check Out Time is one of my favorite joints. She's Scandalous. I can go down the line. Definitely not one of my favorite Tupac albums. Me Against the World is, but classic. And Ambitious as a writer has 100 million streams. Think about that. And that was a street single. Fuji la that ooh la la la, that right there, banger. What are we talking about right now? Like, both classic albums.
That's why I wouldn't even say compare them. I just want to know how it make you feel. I'm not, because they're both bangers for whatever, for their own thing. Zach, did you cop these albums? Your parents, and you're probably with like 4 or 5.
Oh God,
were you born yet?
These are albums that made their way into Napster, and I had to be super careful when they were playing and stuff, because my parents early on were sort of like, "What is this? Don't play this stuff." And then as I got older, not even older, within a year, they're kind of like, "Okay, yeah, this is great. You're fine," and they're very understanding. Tupac's influence throughout LA and throughout where current rap is can't be stated enough. So love both tracks and appreciate both.
Now it's time to move on to a brand new segment we have here, in honor of some NBA Twitter legends. We're calling it Meet Me in Temecula. Basically, you pick one person, thing, something going on in the universe that you want to have the fade with, you want to run a fade with. It could be anything. It could be NBA, could be pop culture, whatever you want. Trey, we'll go to you first since you're our humble and esteemed guest. Who do you want you to meet in Temecula? Who's meeting you in Temecula for the fade?
Damn, that's tough because I'm a non-violent Gandhi thug, bro. Like, nah, I ain't been pushed. Nobody really had that control to push me to that level. So, like, honestly, come back to me on that one. Give me a second. Let Zach answer that one.
I know, Zach. I know you got somebody because you're
Of
always
course.
ready to. You're always ready for things.
Trey, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a food that upset you. It could be something you saw in the news. It doesn't necessarily need to be an individual. What's that?
Chillin' stink. So chillins definitely is got to meet me in Temecula.
That's real. Zach, who you got?
Justin Timberlake. He's been in the news lately, obviously, with this stuff with Britney Spears and Janet. But more than anything, I've read just a lot of kind of like unflattering things about him. That he like spits on people and stuff in the club. If someone like not like hits on, but like literally spits.
I hope they burn Jordans.
But yeah, JT.
You got to wear Under Armour for the rest of. You got to wear Under Armour for the rest of his life now. That's that's the rules. If I had to pick somebody, we have some information break. I'm fighting the 43 senators who thought it prudent to not impeach our previous administration for inciting a riot at the Capitol. We don't like to get too political on this show, but that's some bullshit. Middle of Black History Month. What are we doing? What I mean? This is, we've had Tom Brady win the Super Bowl and then this happened. It hasn't been a great Black History Month. What I mean? It's been unfortunate, but that's why I would meet me in Temecula. We're running the fade. I'm going to wait for you as long as it takes. See me. See me. But, now let's from fade running to apologizing. James Harden came out yesterday, said he was sorry for how he handled the situation with the Rockets. I don't really give a shit either way. I appreciate him just for all the great engagement and internet content we were able to get out over those couple of weeks. It was definitely an early Christmas gift. But if you had to apologize to somebody, Trey, or something, what's a person, place, or thing that you feel like deserves an apology?
I'm gonna apologize to probably Robin Smith from 10th grade. From 12th grade, from 2003, bro. Like, that's the only girl I cheated on in my life. So, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't a cheater. So, like, if I could take one thing back and so I can go to heaven, for sure. But I apologize, Robin Smith from Compton High.
Do you feel like that's what's going to stop you from getting into heaven? That one, because I don't think I feel like God's not going to trip. Like, it happened. You're a real one. It's all gravy.
Listen, man, I don't cheat, bro. But that one time I had my curiosity, bro. I was 17, 18. I just wasn't playing fair in the streets. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Her, hopefully she healed and was able to move on and she's listening, or her daughter's listening, or whoever it may be. Because I've been out of school damn near 20 years. So,
yeah.
Whoever, what's ever going on with her, I apologize.
God, I hope she sees this.
In between, I hope she sees this. Zach, who you got?
Well, there was a bit of slander thrown at In-N-Out this week, and I want to apologize to In-N-Out Burger because it's great. It's always been great. People get it overhyped to them when they come visit, and that upsets me. That's not on In-N-Out. That's on people just building it up too much. It's a lovely place, reasonable burger. Why I want to apologize to them for all these people that always feel the need to come in and tear them down. It's really just a bigger thing. Like, I get friends that aren't here that always have things they want to tear down about LA, and you know what? I don't have negative things to say about restaurants in Indiana. So that is what it is. So
you have negative things to say about All-Star games in Indiana, though. But yeah, what about the fries though? Like, I think the burger is obviously exquisite. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this Five Guys burger's ass. I'll tell anybody that any day of the week.
Brandon, here's the tip. All right, don't get the fries normal, animal style. Listen, you can tell me that if you cover anything in Thousand Island and cheese and onions, it's going to be great, and that's true. So cover it in Thousand Island cheese and onions and enjoy that shit. It is wonderful that way.
Trey, you're on the East Coast now, so I don't know what they have out there. I don't know if they have the luxury that is In-N-Out. But are you an In-N-Out fan, or were you getting a burger in LA?
In-N-Out, bro. I'll die on the In-N-Out hill, bro.
Let's go.
Tomatoes, the lettuce, etc. I just actually stopped being vegan. So,
I remember this. I remember you breaking this down to me.
First chopped cheese, and now I had jerk salmon and pepperoni pizza. But In-N-Out is GOAT. Why would you want to spend more than $10 for your meal?
Thank you.
I roll with it. They work hard there. I give it up to them. I've never seen people work harder just nonstop because I'm watching them. I'm ready to report them to their manager if I don't feel the effort is where it needs to be. Hooper mentality. It's a coach thing. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But if I had to apologize to somebody, I'm going to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson because I don't feel like Justin Timberlake's apology was sufficient enough, player. Okay? You pulled Janice Booby out, dog, at the Super Bowl on a Sunday. Nipple ring. Yeah. You know, some of us were drooling. Some of us weren't. And then Britney, honestly, just, everything she's contributed to the community, especially during Black History Month, just think about her contributions, not being as good as Beyonce, which is important because, she helped elevate Beyonce to that next level by really showing what it took, But for Justin to not really, he gave him the Notes app apology. No, bro, I need you to go on 2020, whatever. Good Day LA, whatever. The Today Show, something, and hit us with some realness. I didn't feel it, Justin. So we might have to meet me in Temecula too for that, just to be real.
Yeah.
Most def. But Trey, before we let you get out of here, we got, a topic that's near and dear. I feel all our hearts. We're all West Coast guys, LA guys. If I had to ask you, who is your favorite LA Hooper of all time that you've seen play? Not, you can't tell me somebody who's from LA that you never really, but that's from LA that you've seen hoop. Who are you rolling with?
Damn, that's kind of crazy because it's like Wesley Stokes is Super Crip. It's, you know what I mean? You think about BD, obviously. You think about, like Steve Moore. It's a bunch. I went to all the schools in Compton. I've played against most of the dudes too. So like, probably for my favorite all time, personally, Steve Moore. He was dark skinned like me, but he could dunk. He could shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? Very pivotal to that championship team at Dominguez. And then, if I had to go like over and beyond, it's probably BD. Because Barron just took the time. Actually, he was the first legend I felt like that was accessible, could really explain shit to you, like really tell you what it takes to get to the NBA, show you that experience, show you that success firsthand. Like basically like, oh, you got this, you know what I mean? Like, wow, you from where we from and you got this car, you got all this money. But it wasn't even that. He was starting camps and all that other stuff. And it was just really, no disrespect to Paul Pierce and all those other dudes, because we got so many different professional basketball players that come from our city, but he was one of the, like, from my year that I really wore number one. I was a guard that can dunk. I played at the rim, hard at the rim a lot of times, and I tried to imitate his game so much. So I got so much respect for BD. But shout out to Kenny Bruner, shout out to Wesley Stokes, shout out to Trayvon Bryant, shout out to Steve Moore. I can go down the line. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from SoCal, shouts to North Cal too.
Zach, I know you're an Arizona State guy, so you probably rock with Steve Moore. Me and Steve hooped together at AAU, and I was at UCLA when he was at Arizona State. And I always tell the story. We were playing ASU one time. We were smacking them, but then Steve just went off and had like a 30-piece. But really, it was at the point where I didn't want to go in the game because it wouldn't have been any meaningful minutes. So we started rooting for Steve. We were like, fuck it, like Steve run the score, so we don't got to go in. So Steve was hitting threes, and we were just like, yes, like, fuck, I don't want to go in this shit. Like, I'm not trying to go in the game with 30 seconds left. But Zach,
in the Arizona State theme, I got to go with Harden. That it's got to be Harden. I put it up. I mean, like, I got to go. We were lucky enough. I got to go to a few of the Sierra Canyon games last year, and those are when things reopen, let me just tell you, those are some of the most fun things I've ever experienced. And, oh, my God, those were great. But I'm going to go Harden. I'm being called the simp in the chat for this, so that's fine. I'm going to be a homer twice here, both LA and ASU. I made a lot of Gatorade in my Trey, you mimicked your game, but I was making a lot of Gatorade. Made some Gatorade for James. He really liked it. I was handing out some towels.
Hey man,
for James.
Listen, look where we at now. We talking about on the platform on buckets.
Yeah.
So it don't matter if you made Gatorade or you actually shot buckets. Me and Josiah both played at a high level, and then we also sat the bench at a high level. So
super high level.
You can't do it all, because if we did do it all, we'd be playing right now, and y'all still be watching us.
Yeah.
It's very humbling. If I had to, Trey, you hit on it, but I got a couple of dudes. So before I get to the main one, but my older brother Chris at Point Forward Pro on Twitter, but one of the most phenomenal 6'4", but was running the 5. Was LA City Player of the Year, won 2 state championships at Crenshaw, went to UCLA, was on a national championship team, but just all the things he was doing at 6'4", giving like 6'11" dudes buckets, playing the 4 and 5. You know, transformed. He was like 290 as a freshman at UCLA, got down to like 220. You know, he started his career as like a center, ended his like professional career as like a point guard in the most like phenomenal chain I've ever seen, but just so dedicated, so hardworking. I realized as a young kid I would never get to that level, you know, seeing the shit that he did. But Ed O'Bannon probably is number 2 just in terms of what he brought to the city. I was a ball boy at UCLA for the 95 championship team. So just to be around Ed, like Ed from like, it didn't matter who you were on the team, the ball boys, he treated everybody the same. He would fuck with all of us. He'd be talking to us during games about hustling, what, you know what I mean? Like he'll come through and just have some shit to say while he's in the middle of dropping 30 on me, like the number 1 team in the country. But number 1 dude, Barron, you know, I played for the same AAU program as Barron and Paul Pierce. Paul was on the older team. I was in Vegas when KG came through. I was probably like 11 at that point, and just remember being astounded by that crew. But I didn't really know Paul like that because he was on his way to Kansas in the league at that point. But BD was just somebody who was so real you could touch. I remember the first time I met BD, I was at 54th Street School. We were playing dunk ball on the little 8-foot rims. BD came through in his crossroads sweats with the one sock leg up like Kerry Kittles, and just like, this dude is a superstar. And a lot of people, you saw BD and what he did in the league and everything, but BD had like a knee injury in like 10th grade, and I was at Crossroads with him. I was in junior high, he was in high school. He was fucking around on the outdoor hoops, dunking and shit one day, hurt his knee. But from that point, you know, like the shit he was doing in high school, catching lobs off the inbound plays and crossing dudes up, it was like a spectacle. And to Trey, to your point, the way the dude gives back, he was always accessible. You could always see BD wherever, you know, with that trademark smile and, you know, just playing with him in the men's gym at UCLA. But that was just a dude that, you know, I loved just seeing and rooted for his career, the We Believe Warriors. Like at a point I was a Warriors fan, now not, but you know, at a point it was like, how could you not be with that crew with Matt and BD and everybody just going and getting it?
That's how I go, Josiah. Anybody from the crib we rolling with. Russ. I mean, I don't care if you went to the college, same college as us or anything. You from the crib, we rooting for you. Ride or die.
The same thing with Harden, Zach. Harden, I remember I did his like CIF championship game. They played Modern Day, and I'll tell the story. I went in the Modern Day locker room to shoot some B-roll before the game, and the Modern Day players were like solemn, like they were at a funeral, like the Ware twins and a bunch of other dudes on that squad. Going to the Artesia locker room, Harden got the whole locker room just freestyling and flowing, like, but just, you know, a leader in terms of just the way he had the whole crew ready to go. And I remember telling the cameraman, like, damn, they're about to go bust Modern Day's ass. Like, this is not going to be like, this is not going to be a game. These dudes are about to just run these dudes, like, but just to see the strides that he's made. So definitely, you know, LA Hoopers are near and dear to all our hearts. So, you know, just great to pay homage, give these dudes their flowers. DeMar can get some love, but, you know, DeMar's a popular dude.
So here's an Easter egg. I coached DeMar in 2005 at Compton.
Okay.
Yeah. I came back before I transferred. I had to sit out a year. And before I sat out, I just went home. And I coached that 2005 team. We were sponsored by P. Miller. DeMar averaged 29, 10, and 5. And he had an epic battle against Austin Day in high school.
No kidding.
Austin Day and DeMar's dad, Frank, almost fought in the crowd. And I had to go break it up.
Oh, what a story.
Yeah. So shouts to DeMar. Shouts to Compton High. Much love. Always got love for DeMar. He's one of the most humble, hardworking guys. And he used to work out with Kobe at 15. So I knew he was going to be where he was now.
Bring DeMar home.
You said DeMar, Compton High, but I'm thinking about Super Crip and Tito Maddox. I had to play those dudes in the Watt Summer game. I was like a freshman. And yeah, I had to play that whole squad. I'm like a freshman, fat, chubby. I got to guard Super Crip. It's like the dude's name is Super Crip. Like, what do you want me to do with this? You know what I mean? Like Mr. Crip, excuse me. Like, you know.
Hey, Mr. Crip is funny. For those who don't know, David Hamilton, he's working now with Compton Magic. So, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean? Giving back to the game. But Super Crip was a legend, went to Auburn. Did his thing, bro. 6'9", used to hoop in chucks, literally. There's a famous story of him getting shot and still going to play.
Santa Margarita, bro. Spencer Gloger, Ryan Forehand Kelly. I remember watching the game. Like, this dude just got shot like 3 days ago. He's put at the game, whatever. I don't know if they won or not, but I remember just like, this dude is unbelievable. You know, back in the day, Fox Sports, whatever, Prime Ticket.
Yeah.
But what you up to now, Trey? What can you plug? What can you promote?
Yep.
You know, I won't like pretty much plug the White and Kennedy stuff because I'm behind the scenes. So you probably liking some of my stuff. You probably hating on some of my stuff for the commercials that we're working on, and some of the social stuff. But I will say that I am with The Athletic, listen to our podcast, subscribe, rate, and review, read some of our articles. I have a podcast called Growing Up the Same with my co-host, Jason Madison, aka Jay Skills. We got an episode out with Isaiah Jackson, aka Bitcoin Zay, who could educate you with Bitcoin one-on-one. And then also you can find the OG pod on Count the Dings, all our pods on Count the Dings. Much love. Thank you guys for having me on Buckets. Hopefully I can come back. This was fun.
Always.
We appreciate it.
It's late as hell over here. I'm going to climb in my bed because I'm 36.
36! Zach, halfway point Black History Month. What do you have to say to the people? Much has been learned, much needs to be learned, but what you got for us?
There's a TikTok that I sent. I don't think they're going to play the video, but this girl went and got dreads, and it was just like, you're doing this during Black History Month, and it's just, she hasn't posted a TikTok in 4 days since she did it. The internet came for her. Just be aware, understand.
Bullying works, bro. You see, old boy got fired.
Hey, we got him out the paint.
That was what I was going to say. Getting Doyle the fuck out of there, that was good as well. So, people are learning. It's just slow as fuck, but good Lord.
We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. We'll be back next week with some more shows. Outta Pocket Live. Stay safe. Strap up.